Hello and welcome to another edition of Take the Fear Out the Gear with me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
And me, Jason Bangers, and today we're going to take you in a time machine and we're going to take you back to...
So I push the lever on.
April 1999. In late 80s and the early 90s, Mr. Chumley Warner actually worked in Turnkey in London, didn't you?
Yeah, Charing Cross Road.
Yeah.
Started off as Turnkey, then it actually changed to Soho Soundhouse when they merged the two companies. So it was an exciting time.
Tell us a little bit about that. I know that's not what this video's about, but you must have met some interesting and famous people up there.
Yeah, we had the guitarist from Def Leppard come in once. Steve, can't remember his second name.
Steve Elliott was Joe Elliott's a singer. I don't know.
It was a guy, so we can look it up or flash it up. It was Steve from Def Leppard, and he bought a whole load of stuff for his little studio, and one of the guys from Turnkey went round to see him and help him set it up. There was the Doctor Who guy came in once, Peter Davidson.
Doctor Who?
Yeah, I served him because I think he had a Fostex 8-track and he wanted some more leads and bits and pieces, so that was quite cool.
Okay.
Another famous person that came in was Seal, and this was in the early days because Seal was playing at the Marquee Club opposite, and I remember he came in and I served him, and he bought a Sennheiser microphone.
Wow.
Which he was going to use that night, I think.
Why on earth would Seal go out and buy a mic before he was famous then?
Yeah, I guess he was just starting out at that point, and he said, right, what can you recommend a microphone? So we sold him a Sennheiser microphone. I guess he used it that evening.
I've got to ask, why did you not sell him an SM58?
I think he had in his mind that he wanted a Sennheiser.
Okay.
He'd seen them, but he said, have you got any Sennheiser? So we found him a Sennheiser vocal mic.
Yeah.
And that's what he took away.
I only say that because the SM58 is an industry standard. I mean, the Beta 58 nowadays is what we all tend to use, you know. Well, there you go. It's quite interesting. So I just thought we'd talk about that because we never have actually, have we?
No, there's a few little stories there.
Yeah, I bet you got some more as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. So let's open the book then. Let's talk about our first item.
Well, this is the magazine it's coming from.
There you go.
This is Sound on Sound, April 1999. You can see on the front cover there's a Yamaha sampler, and we've actually got one of those, so if you want us to do a little show on that, we will.
I did notice when I flicked through it earlier, so there's a few pages stuck together.
Well, I bought it second hand off eBay, so who
yeah,
knows? Who knows what's been going on?
They were just bookmarks, I guess, weren't they?
Yeah.
You obviously used paper glue or something.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use, if anyone back in the day recognises this is what the Turnkey adverts look like, and they went over a few pages for all the different synths and mixers, etc. that they did. So we're going to take our prices from Turnkey. So first of all, we're going to take you back. We're going to talk about the Yamaha 03D digital mixer. Now this was sort of state of the art at the time.
Digital mixer, yeah.
It wasn't one of their top of the range runs. It was kind of in the middle.
How many channels was it then?
I think they released 16, and I think you could possibly add more. But if we do a show on it, we'll let you know.
Was it a converter? Was it an AI?
No, it's actual mixer.
Just a mixer, right? Okay.
Yeah, we can. We'll see if we can flash up some pictures, and you'll get the idea. Had motorised faders and everything else.
How many physical inputs and outputs? Because sometimes they were 16, but you'd only have 8, wouldn't you? 8 physical cannons.
Yeah.
And you'd have
I'd say 8 to 16. I don't know
Okay.
without looking into it further.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ask all them questions. I just find it interesting because I don't know a lot about it. Okay, so an early digital mixer, man.
How much then? Things were expensive in those days.
Digital mixer back then, it's got to be. We're talking 1999. I'd say we got to be close to £2,000, I reckon.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. At Turnkey, they were selling them for, well, £1,999, a pound off 2,000. I think the real retail was 2,500.
Did they have built-in effects and stuff?
I think they have got some built-in effects.
Okay.
So the question is now, if you bought one back then, we looked on eBay today.
So in the present now,
we're back now in the present. How much would it cost now to pick one up second hand?
I don't know. Here's the thing, I don't know how good they were. I don't know how successful they were, so I'm going to say 300 quid.
Yeah, you're pretty much there. 250 to 300, depending on the condition of them. They're a good little mixer, but obviously a lot of people are doing it inside the computer now.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's move on to something. I know Jay's got some of these. Tascam DA88.
Oh, brilliant bits of kit. Yeah, I've got a mobile rig I used to take out. I've got 3 of them. So I did have a bit of problem with dropout, you know, because you've only got to have one take dropout and you get this digital dropout, which is where everything just disappears. But the quality's fantastic. They're brilliant. Now, I know they were a lot of money new, but I think they're about 1,500 quid new.
Let's have a look, because I haven't a clue.
Do you not know?
They were actually more than that.
Really?
Turnkey's price was 2,399, and I think you'll find the retail was even more than that.
Good grief. Now you can pick them up on eBay. I've seen them. I've got 7 of the things all together, but you can pick them up on eBay for 50 quid, as low as £30. That's incredible. It's still a great recording unit, and especially if you want to go out mobile.
Yeah, and if I noticed someone was selling on eBay, they actually said they used to use it just with the converters.
Yeah.
Just so you come in and go out again, so you got that lovely sort of analog type sound.
Very analog, yeah. I did a live recording with the Junkyard Aliens, and it's great.
It is a very nice recording, that one.
Yeah.
So they're very good. So there's a bargain if you want to get into that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Let's have a look at the
Wind back the clock back to 1999 again.
Alesis MIDI Verb 4.
Oh, good God.
We haven't gotten quite as far back as a quadriverb.
Right, well, at least they weren't that expensive, were they? And I've got to say, they were quite versatile. I'm going to say they couldn't have been more than 300 quid, Si.
Well, you're right, and they didn't cost that much.
Yeah.
That's about £190.
I was 190, was it?
Yeah.
So I was well off then.
The actual that's the turnkey price. The retail could have been a lot more than that. But yeah, turnkey were knocking them out for 190 quid. What about
40 quid second hand?
Yeah, 40, 50 quid,
Yeah.
depending on what condition. And they're a bit of a bargain. They're a nice little unit.
Yeah.
So let's wind the clock back on software. So Cubase
Oh, God.
version 4, which is quite a few versions back from now. How much do you reckon that would have been?
I know nothing about it. I don't even know. I can't even guess. I know nothing about Cubase at all.
Well, Cubase version 4 was 299 and 99 pence, so about £300. I think it's about the average for different doors of that age. They're now on to Cubase 11, but I suppose you've got to realise Cubase 11 has got way more stuff in.
Yeah.
Any idea of how much it would cost now?
Cubase 11. I shouldn't think it'd be too much. Probably no more than what I was then. 250 quid.
499. But that obviously it's a massive program now,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's moved on a lot.
And what sort of size computer do you need to run that?
Cubase 11, I should imagine you'll need an i7 or an i9 processor, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
I know Jay's got one of these. It's a Yamaha One X. You know the blue one you've got.
Yeah.
I've got one as well.
Yeah.
They're groovy little
It
machines.
was never plugged in.
No.
Brand new. 450.
But the turnkey price was $549.99. They're actually, I'll give you a little clue, they're actually more than you think now.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea? I looked on eBay.
I would have said 150 probably. A push.
Well, I noticed one sold the other day at 250 quid.
Okay.
But I know you can get them cheaper than that if you search around. So they've gone up.
So about 150. Do you reckon they pop up for regularly?
I reckon you could go 150 to 250.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pick up a bargain on those.
So what we're saying is, if you got them, hang on to them because they can be like Rembrandts one day.
Let's just cover this one quick. It's called the Yamaha Qy 700. It was part of it was like their flagship sequencer, MIDI sequencer. It was like a big box, loads of nice buttons and that. Just did MIDI sequencing. How much?
I've never heard of it.
Well, let's have a look because they're more than I thought. Turnkey was selling them for about £700. This is just for a MIDI sequencer, so it's pretty wild. Second-hand prices 190 to 220, and again we can show you one of those if you're interested. Well, let's do a couple of sound modules at a time because there was loads of sound modules. But let's do the Korg TR rack. And what this is, it's like you had the Korg Trinity keyboard, and this was like a rack version. Awesome sounds. The sounds are just out of this world. They're really good. We can bring one of those to you as well. How much for a Korg module? got to be reasonably expensive because Korg was really good.
Let me just say, back in these days, I was busy spending 6 hours a day honing my drumming skills and wasn't remotely interested in anything electric. So, I don't know the object. Let's say 700, go £950. There you go. Don't even know what it is. I'm guessing.
Well, I reckon the retail was probably about that, but Turnkey was selling them for about 690. So you're pretty much there.
Turnkey were a good company for a good bargain, weren't they?
Second-hand prices again. Let's have a look. Around £200. And they, to be honest, if you're interested in them, they just will bring you one of those on one of the shows. They are amazing.
Yeah, some things are holding their money, some things are dropping. Therefore, they're the bargains. They're the ones to buy.
And then EMU, let's do an EMU sound module. Because EMU, they started off with things like the Proteus, you've probably all seen those, and there's a whole range of modules. This one in the Turnkey catalogue was called the EMU Audity 2000. It was a nice little synth module, sounds amazing.
1500.
Let's have a look. Well, the Turnkey price was about 750, and I think the retail was a few £100 more than that.
Okay. This stuff was good, the EMU gear.
Yeah, and I found this one had sold on eBay the other day, and I was quite surprised at the price because I'm sure they go for more than this. So, any idea? It was a cheap price for something like that.
I would have thought they would have held their money quite well. So you're saying cheap, so I want to say I think £300 would be cheap for something like that.
Well, apparently this one the other day it sold for 132.
Good God.
So someone got a real bargain. But I would have thought if you're looking for one, you're going to be paying, like Jay says, probably 200 to 300.
Yeah.
I think that was just a lucky pickup deal.
And I'm guessing EMU was just short for emulator, was it? Don't know. I'm guessing.
I don't know. EMU was just the company.
Okay, yeah. I thought maybe it was short for emulator because that's what they sort of did, made emulators, didn't they?
Yeah, they made the famous emulator 1, 2 and 3.
They did.
Right, let's talk about mixing desks. This Soundcraft Spirit.
I knew you was going to come up with a Spirit.
I only asked because this is what we recorded our Blade Chain album on.
Yeah, it was a 16 track. Isn't it?
I think it was. It was a Soundcraft Spirit Studio 16 channel mixer.
I think they were about £2,000. I think.
Yeah, we bought one new in a box back in the day. It was £2,000.
I was there the day the delivery driver pulled up in his lorry, kicked the bloody box, dragged it off the back, and there was a hole in the box, and we made him open it, and there was broken knobs, weren't there? We were absolutely fuming, weren't we?
Yeah, and I think they either replaced the mixing desk or the knobs. They did something because it was not on really. So yeah, Jay, we paid £2,000 for that. Let's have a look. Oh blimey.
Today, I shouldn't think they're worth much now. I shouldn't think. I mean, mixing desks, analog desks are coming back in a bit, but I shouldn't think one of them you're going to pay more than £200 ordering for.
Spot on, really. I think they're on eBay today. They're 200 to 250.
Yeah, it's an incredible bargain for something that's so sophisticated. I mean, you can only route stuff through it. It doesn't do much more than that.
And the most amazing thing, this is why people like Turnkey. Turnkey was selling them for £900.
Bloody hell.
So
that was a bargain.
Yeah, it was a
When you compare it to the others, I mean, it's still a lot of money. But then back then, you got to remember it was state of the art, wasn't it?
Yeah, they'd only just come out. So the Turnkey, you can see why people shop there. A couple of quick ones there. A couple of Yamaha keyboards. There's a Yamaha DJX. Remember me bringing that one to show you?
Yeah, vaguely.
It's like it's a cross between a home keyboard and a synth.
Yeah.
It's got loads of stuff on it. So these weren't expensive.
No,
so
I'm going to say probably no. We're looking at about £400 tops.
They were cheaper than that.
Were they? Cool, blimey.
I reckon the retail might have been £250, £300, but Turnkey was selling them for £220.
Really?
And second-hand prices. You can pick up some real bargains.
I'm going to say £50. I'm really pushing the boat out, but
well, I think if they're in nice condition, anywhere from 50 to 100.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't find that. Yeah.
Because I'm the bargain seeker.
Yeah, he is. He will find a bargain. Trust me. Because he looks for things that are misspelt as well.
I picked one up for a tenner. But it did have some knobs missing, and it needed to clean up on that. But you can pick them up real cheap.
No dramas.
That's a little tip for you. Last one is a Yamaha Cs One X. That was a nice synth at the time. We can show you one of those.
Yeah, because I'm trying to picture it and I can't.
It was like the Yamaha did a whole series of these blue synths in the blue cases. They're really nice. I think analog modelling synths. So I have a guess too. They were reasonably expensive.
300.
You're pretty much spot on. Turnkey were doing them for $3.99. Probably the retail was slightly more. How about
which
now?
Which means second hand, we're looking at 150 maybe.
Yeah, 150.
Yeah,
150 on the eBay prices.
So you will notice that we've looked at a half price drop almost from all them years ago to now. But there's some things that if you would have bought then, I say well done. Had you have bought in 1999 a Neumann U87 for 1,500 quid, which is what they cost, I would have said well done, you did well. Because today they're $2,500. The very same mic, no difference. This isn't a vintage one, this is the black one, the new version that I bought 1,500 quid all them years ago. Can't remember when I bought it, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
They're now $2,500, or thereabouts. You can find them for 1,800. But my God, so some things you bought then back in the time capsule, and it's like you brought them out today and they're worth twice as much. Some things are worth half as much.
Yeah, it's just lucky. Obviously, a lot of the analog stuff is worth a lot more. Let's do one more, because this synth or this synth in a rack was used on like the Faithless.
Oh yeah.
The Faithless stuff. They were very much into this synth. It was a Roland JV 1080, and it's got that famous sound on it for insomnia.
Insomnia. Can't get no sleep.
So how much? They were quite expensive at the time.
$899.
Well, that's good. Turnkey were doing them for $829, so I guess the retail probably was about $899 on those.
And today, I imagine they're probably 500 quid. I'm going to stick my neck out and say they're still fetching a lot of dollar.
Bit too far, about $275.
Well, that's not a bad price for one of them, then, is it?
However, with the JV, let's get this right, 1080, you've got these expansion boards in. So if you've got one fully loaded, then Jay's right, it will cost you nearer £500 if it's fully loaded with the expansion card.
Yes. We're just taking you back in time to look at the prices that were then and what they are today, because it's quite surprising how some things have doubled in price and a lot of things are sort of only half the price. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our little time machine back in 1999. And if you enjoyed this video and you like some of the things we talked about, let us know and we can go back to another year. Who knows what year? But from me, Jason Bangers, it's goodbye.
And for me, Mr. Chumley Warner, it's goodbye.
Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and
tap that bell.
We'll see you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.